If you told us Microsoft were going to make the best looking OS out there with the best looking handsets available for it, we would have probably laughed. But Windows Phone 7, now Windows Phone 8 have come out, and indeed that is exactly what we've got, especially at the lower price points. You've got the Nokia Lumia 620 here, you've got the HTC 8S here, both so much fun for such little money. But you can pick up either device for under 200 quid. The Lumia 620 comes in at 150 quid. This between 150 and 200 quid. Really, really great value, and especially considering they're both such standout looking phones. The 620 is thicker, undeniably. It's also a little bit shorter, so it's more squat altogether, but it certainly does feel nice and rich. It's very forgiving in the hand with its cup-like form factor. The Nokia Lumia 620 also has exchangeable back covers which give it a lot of personality. We can pull some into frame for you, and you can gauge that this really does change the look and feel of your entire phone, and they're relatively inexpensive. The HTC 8S, our other handset that we're comparing it against, however, is considerably less thick and more elegant, we might say. It feels really, really nice and rich in the hand. The almost chewing gum like curvature just adds a really nice depth to it, so despite in terms of millimeters not being much thinner at all, it certainly feels it, and especially in the pocket and hand. The corners are a little sharper, so they do dig into the heel of the hand a little bit more, so you may want to be aware of that if you hold your hands and don't like those edgy corners all that much. We'd say in terms of design it's a pretty even footing, and it's going to come down to personal taste. The 8S is available in a range of colours. The Lumia 620 available in one colour with exchangeable back covers, so if you have a short attention span, the 620 might be for you. If you just prefer to go with something and stick with it, then the HTC 8S may be the one. If you're looking at the screens, both of them are packing WVGA resolution panels. You've got 3.8 inches on the 620, you've got 3.7 inches on the HTC 8S. The 8S has slightly worse viewing angles, and the tactility with the screen isn't quite as rich as with the Nokia Lumia 620. However, both look great. Sharpness is practically identical on both, and both display very nice and clear whites. We'd say the Lumia 620 is a little bit stronger in the screen department, but it isn't going to be all that noticeable. Moving on to the operating system, and both pack Windows Phone 8. This is a really clean, simple UI. On the left-hand side, you've got a shortcuts list, which is called your start menu. On the right-hand side, you've got a list of applications, and you can pin all these to the start menu with ease with just a long press. Once pinned, these take the form of tiles. Some of these are live tiles, and these display information pertaining to notifications. So, for example, you can take a look at our email. It's telling us we have 15 apps that we need to update, and we've got 4 emails that we need to read. Now, speaking of emails that we need to read, one problem with Windows Phone 8 in general is that it hasn't got a unified notification center. This is expected to come in upgrades, which both these devices are expected to get, something called Apollo Plus, so you can keep an eye out for that. However, as it stands, if you want to see your notifications, just keep an eye on your live tiles, or indeed your lock screen, because your lock screen also illustrates your unread emails, etc., and missed calls. We're moving on to the cameras, and both are 5 megapixel sensors, and they're relatively even in terms of performance. Both two of the better 5 megapixel sensors out there. If we jump into the camera UI on the HTC 8S, for example, we can very, very quickly see you've got some really, really nice, if we let it focus, just took this picture now, you can get some really nice detailing without all that much effort. It certainly isn't the best, but for 5 megapixels and between 150 to 200, nearer the 200 quid mark with this phone, it's really not a bad proposition at all. The Nokia Lumia 620 packs a slightly better sensor, or at least that's what we thought the results looked like. However, again, it's really, really fine cutting between the two. In terms of storage, that's one area the Nokia Lumia 620 definitely wins out, with 8 GB of onboard storage as opposed to 4 on the HTC 8S. The real area this plays a part is in terms of applications. If you are an application hoarder, you are more than likely going to run out of memory on the HTC 8S, and you can't move apps to SD card just yet. this may come in future versions of Windows Phone. The Lumia 620 with its 8GB of internal memory, 4GB user available, or a little bit more than that, and SD card support, is just going to give you that little extra leeway in terms of applications. Both being expandable, it's really great. You can get all your movies on there, and the WVGA screens are going to make them look really nice indeed. Performance-wise, two 1 GHz dual-core processors, one in each device. Both really speedy, snappy. We've found no real performance issues across either. With the first build on the HTC 8S, we had a few stutters here and there. However, HTC seemed to have fixed this, and we have no cause for complaint. In terms of the user interface, the real differentiating factor is the fact that the Nokia Lumia 620 ships with Nokia's Windows Phone 8 application suite. These include offline maps for a sat navigation and indeed standard Nokia mapping, as well as offline radio and a list of suggested applications. It's really a great differentiator and makes the whole experience of using your Windows Phone feel that much more bespoke for you and your Nokia Windows Phone. And that might be the thing that's going to clinch it for the Nokia Lumia 620 over the HTC 8S. Both great phones, but at a cheaper price point and with additional services, you really can't argue with that. So while we may, to a degree, prefer the HTC 8S's design, despite the inflexibility of no removable covers like the Nokia Lumia 620 has, the Lumia 620 is our choice and our winner in this comparison. It's cheaper, it gives you more value for money, and it also has Nokia's fantastic app selection suite. Thanks for watching Know Your Mobile. Both great devices, but we have one winner. If you have any questions about either device, please feel free to leave a comment below. If you've enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel.